Hola, bienvenidos. Welcome to the Good Expat podcast. Here, you discover how to learn Spanish effectively, develop a confident mindset, and build meaningful relationship with the locals so you can embrace and enjoy your new life in Spain the right way. I'm your host, Coach Jaime, and this is what's coming up in today's episode.
Whether we like it or not, or whether we want it or not, we are always, to a big extent, constrained by the environments we are in. And that is when we want to get in touch with the people, we want to explore, we want to create a harmony because we want to carry on and move forward. But the environments have changed. And therefore, it takes, it starts creating, in fact, it forces to a big extent on your personality too, because you every day would be doing something different, which you are not doing before. And that slowly develops the habit. And these things that you keep doing every day, it becomes a practice. And eventually, you start changing your personality. And then you start creating those new personal realities of your life.
Before today's episode, I'd like to invite you to my weekly Intro to Spanish workshop, where I'll show you how to learn Spanish and integrate in Spain while saving time, money, and effort. I want to guide you through my 6-step process that will help you choose the right way to learn Spanish for you, speed up your integration process by up to 55%, and avoid the 12 most common mistakes that I see expats often making in Spain. It's fun, it's interactive, and in just 60 minutes, you'll learn what would otherwise take you months to figure out on your own, even if you're already studying with a teacher. Would you like to join me live and 100% for free? Simply head over to ablaacademy.com/workshop. That's ablaacademy.com/workshop, or simply scan the QR code that you can see on your screen. And now, back to today's episode. Well, welcome, Dax. Welcome to the show.
Nice to meet you, Najami, after some time. See you.
I had to have you on the show because I've seen your persona in LinkedIn, and I really enjoy the way you portray the energy that you convey, and I had to bring you into the show. And the theme, the subject you've chosen for today, I'm very curious about. You chose to talk about how your personality creates your personal reality. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so it means that the way your personality is what creates your personal realities of your life. What we mean by that is the way we do things, the way we think our thoughts, the way we take our actions, and the way we feel, our state of being, is what creates our realities of our life. So when we are in motion and when our thoughts are the same, we take the same actions, there are no changes in our state of being, we have the same feelings, we remain the same. We get the same results, there's no change in the results, no change in the outcomes. But when we change the way we think, and thereby taking the action that's required, new actions, new thoughts, and new feelings, that's when we create a new personal reality for us in the future.
Mm-hmm. I know that you travel a lot, and you come from India. You told me that in India you speak many languages, so you're very familiar with the process of learning languages, moving abroad. So are you saying that for somebody moving to a new country, going through that old experience, all those changes, that now if they really want to see abundance in the new country, they also need to change their personality?
Yeah. So when you are, like you rightly pointed out, a little about my journey, about my moving to various places, which is, I would say 20 cities. It's like 20 states in this country, and each state has a different culture and a different language. And the customs are also different. So yes, it's like moving to new country and, getting around with the people there. So yes, personality matters here because we've been accustomed to a particular line of thinking, those thoughts that have been there. and we've been groomed on certain habits, certain actions that we've been taking because of them. So when we move to a new place, the surrounding, the environment changes. And then it is something which we are not very comfortable with. And we want to see our own the old ways that we have been used to, and we want to continue it the same way. But apparently, things have changed here for us. Our environments have changed. The people have changed. The location, geography, weather, climate, temperature, everything has changed. And so what happens is a new beginning starts. And now there's this challenge between the old and what's now required. And that is basically a challenge to change your personality.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you are now blending in with the people, with the culture, with the customs. And that requires a change in your personality too, because it makes you more adaptable, more flexible, more resilient, and more caring.
Who doesn't want that? So this might. I always believe that moving to another country is a door to new opportunities. It could be professional, it could be personal, all the opportunities that you might get when you learn the new language. But I also see it as an opportunity to grow and to become, everything that you just mentioned, an upgraded version of yourself, a better version of yourself, because you have to deal with new challenges and you have to work out your personality to adapt. So I'm very curious to see how do you suggest that someone should start this transformation, this journey?
Yeah. So let's say that if somebody is moving as an expat to, let's say, your country, Spain, let's say, if they go there, and there is, of course, a different culture, different people, and the environment is going to be different. So we need to understand environment most of the times is always stronger than you. And so whether we like it or not, or whether we want it or not, we are always, to a big extent, constrained by the environments we are in. And that is when we want to get in touch with the people. We want to explore. We want to create a harmony, because we want to carry on and move forward. But the environments have changed. And therefore, it takes, it starts creating, in fact, it forces to a big extent on your personality too, because you every day would be doing something different, which you were not doing before. And that slowly develops the habit. And these things that you keep doing every day, it becomes a practice. And eventually, you start changing your personality. And then you start creating those new personal realities of your life.
What would you tell somebody who perhaps is, they had to move to Spain for whatever reason, and they want to resist this process because they find it too overwhelming? What advice would you give them?
I wouldn't fully put it the old way of what people say, in Rome, live like Romans. No, that's not the way. But what I'm trying to say here is that when somebody is moving to a new location like Spain or this thing, we live in spaces which are, we are in this world, and this world, when we travel to new places, what typically happens is we are in the world of human connections. And whether we like it or not, we are human beings, social beings in this spiritual world. Mm-hmm. And therefore, while we want to be our own self, which is why, because there's a decades old, the upbringing has been like that. So probably we don't want to get used to the people, blend with them. May not be something that we are used to it. But eventually, we get into that space because we are human beings. We want to communicate. We want to talk. And there is that thing that happens, that bond that starts developing. Maybe they are opposite poles, but eventually if I were to move, or if you are to have any of your known people or friends who are moving, then eventually they have to converse with the local culture, with the local people, and you can't avoid that.
Mm-hmm.
So while we might want to preserve our culture, our things back home, but we still have to embrace the people, the customs, the traditions, and that's what is how we create that human connections between us. So it's bound to happen.
Do you think that, I mean, it sounds right to me that obviously embracing the culture, it's number one thing, but that might not be the case for everybody. Would you say that perhaps before embarking on this, setting up an intention or setting up a goal, setting up or sort of working on your visions, your future self, probably the catalyst, no, of this process of being open to change and changing personality?
Yeah. So we need to work on our self first, our inner self. So how do we change our inner self? That's where the journey starts. So what do I see as my purpose? What do I see as my goal? What do I want to do? And that drives me to the place that I want to be. And that is the journey. It begins from there. So if something has got me to this country, then there is a purpose that I'm here, and I need to serve that purpose. So that's how change starts.
Mm-hmm. So just following that whatever brought you to the country, just following along. And I wonder if you would have some sort of steps that somebody should do. Maybe somebody who hasn't, maybe have an idea from moving to a country. Sure, whatever it is. Let's try to make it as broad as possible, so we're not being specified to any group in particular. But the main reason someone wants to move to a country is a better lifestyle. It's a better lifestyle, more opportunities, more abundance. The specifics is down to the individuals. What else, apart from having that purpose, that intention, what else in that part of process of creating a better personality, a different personality, what else would you advise?
So, yeah, what else happens here is you have this new way of looking at things, a different perspective to looking at things, which is growth in life, actually. The change is always going to happen in our journey. Maybe we could look at how could I be working on myself differently. So maybe I don't know the language, I don't know the culture, but the best thing that I can do is be with the people, because you really you may not know how to speak their language, which are words actually, but language is just a mode of communication. But our 70% of our communications are non-verbal in nature. So with maybe a few gestures here and there, which might differ from places and geographies, but otherwise, we have a way to communicate, the non-verbal way of communication, and it starts. And so if I were to suggest something on these lines, I would say that move around, connect with people around. It doesn't matter that you don't know the language, it's fine. But learn something new, a new perspective, what you see, and try to create that for yourself. Try to make that good change which you see outside in yourself. Maybe that person, maybe that gentleman, maybe that lady motivates you or inspired you. Take in that piece, try to implement that in your life. And maybe it will motivate you to connect more. And the journey begins there for the change.
Mm-hmm. I think the one thing that sparks that journey, and tell me if you agree or disagree. It's having it's curiosity. That is just something that I'm constantly trying to inspire on my students. Is having that curiosity for learning, for more, for see what happens, for trying things out. Because without that, there's no movement. I feel that curiosity is the drive to everything, to a door of opportunity you don't know. Um, but how would you? I mean, do you agree with this? Before I ask you the follow-up question, did you
Yeah,
agree that?
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. We always curious on things. I mean, mankind has always been. So it's been there for years, centuries. It's something that always keeps the spark.
But it's also something that I don't feel that everyone sees it the same way. It might be that might be the way it is, but I don't think everybody that I come across sees it the same way. So how would you inspire somebody to become more curious when they don't see it this way?
Well, the only way I can put it is you've seen rocks near the water hitting the rocks, those hard rocks. Over a period of time, it blunts them.
Can you explain that again, please?
Yeah. So what happens is when the water is hitting the rocks,
Mhm.
And you've been seeing them in various parts of the world. You have seen those, and over centuries or after some years, you will see that the rocks which were very sharp, which were very different, now are more smooth, rounded. So over a period of time, uh, when you start connecting with people who inspire, you get inspired.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You need the first spark to move you out of the comfort zone. That curiosity, and I wonder how to. Because sometimes I find it difficult to motivate and to inspire others to take that step. And I actually discovered this year that my goal, my mission, is to inspire people to take action. And I find it difficult when that person lacks of curiosity. So is there any, I don't know, technique, advice, or way that you found useful for getting people to move, to go, to open, to network, and to be open to change, to create a different personality?
Yeah. So one of the things that you can try it out is have people in communities, so that there are others who would be there interacting. So in more the interaction, the faster the change can be expected. Because when you are in communities, there is always a lot of help that comes in, support that comes in.
Mhm.
And when you see, because we are human, and when we see people doing, we are also interested in doing the things. And eventually, there is a bond that gets created. And yes, even people who are not inspired at the beginning, when you have a community kind of a network, it helps a lot.
Well, I think that's a great advice. Perhaps try, realizing that trying to do it on your own is very difficult. So if you were to find a small community that welcomes us, and then little by little we build that relationship, we start building our confidence with them, and we learn the language, we feel integrated, and we feel more motivated to try new things. No.
So what happens is, let's say there are 2 people or 3 or 5, 10 people, and then if I have a challenge and I'm being alone, but when I'm in a community, I see that there's somebody else is also facing a similar challenge, and we see how that person is maneuvering over it. And then I see somebody else who's undergoing something bigger than me. And when you see that happening in a community, you try to get help and support each other. That's how communities grow, and that's how the inspiration becomes more viral in nature.
Mm-hmm. We're here today with Dax. We're talking about changing personality so we can create a different personal reality. And I feel like I'm playing here a little bit of a devil's advocate, trying to pretend like this is difficult. And even though I agree most with everything that you're saying, I'm trying to play the negative, so we can inspire anybody that might be listening and they might be finding this a little bit difficult. So far, what I hear is that if you are moving to Spain because we are looking for new opportunities, right? Things that work in the past are not going to continue working now in this new environment. You said the environment is something that influences a lot, huh? And an important element to help us on that journey is connect with a community. But I don't have people skills. I'm not good with people. I'm not good at socializing. How do I find my tribe? And I guess this is what we're trying to how we're trying to inspire our listeners today to be open to a different way of doing things, to change personalities so that they can connect with that community, huh? And networking. What do you have to say about networking in a new city?
Well, it's simple. As many people as you can meet, try to do. Maybe I'll give a simple practical step. It can be something like every day, go and meet 3 people who are strangers to you. Mm-hmm. Try to connect 3 new contacts on a daily, on every day. 3 new contacts. So that, as much as you can, that's the best way to start. There is no, a secret around it. It's how much we connect. That's the best way to go about it. So try to get 3 new contacts and see how it happens for you. Mm-hmm. That's the best way to start your networking skills.
And I'm going to add something to that I share with my students. Is challenge in my program is challenge number 2 in second unit, and it's how to build a Spanish team. So by following your advice and reaching out and talking to people, I would add that they should make a note of so was friendly. Make a write that name down and have them on your Spanish team. So the next time there's a question, there's a doubt, there's insecurity, you can reach out to that person, or at least that person is cool with you trying their Spanish. That's kind of my addition to your networking tip.
Yeah, absolutely. What you did was good, and those advices are really good, Jamie. The thing is that you can ask them to reflect at the end of the day. So how did it go? Like, how was the day? How did it happen for you with this gentleman or this lady? How did it go for you? What did you learn? And what worked? What didn't? Okay. And what you plan to do tomorrow? So maybe they can have their own self-reflections and what was the learning. I'll help them go a long way in creating the better networking skills every time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is fascinating. I don't think these sort of topics are being discussed in the language teaching world because perhaps they're too focused on the grammar, on the expressions, on the vocabulary. But this element of this is self-development, this is growth, this is getting to know yourself so you can become a different. There's not even better, right? Just a different person, so you can have the life that you want. These conversations are not being had, and I don't hear them enough around language learning, huh? Or moving, language learning, moving to a new country. What's your experience around that?
Anybody moving to a new country is learning, is on growth.
Exactly.
Because that challenge from day one. I had this challenges for almost more than 25 years. And in fact, not 25, I would say more than 25. We've been changing schools every year. In 10 years or 12 years, I would say I must have changed more than 10 schools. Father was in the armed forces, so we have to keep moving from place to place. Mm-hmm. With the nature of work that was there. And so anyone in this motion of life is certainly challenging himself every day, because just imagine that you have to live with new people every year. Imagine the kind of challenges that you will be overcoming. And it is growth. While it puts you at a lot of discomfort, but that discomfort is good for you.
But beyond that, We want that discomfort because that's what makes us grow, no?
Yes, absolutely. Many of them say that, I have to move to a new country, look at my children, it's going to hell, it's going to create a lot of turbulence for them. They're going to have new friends. They don't know these new friends, new environment. They never used to. The food, the big thing everywhere, the food. And that's the another big challenge they have. But what I say is that embrace. There's a big community of people who are like you, moving around the world. You're not alone in this journey. So why worry about that? Learn the things that come your way. And these challenges, the things that make you uncomfortable is the one that takes you beyond your comfort boundaries. And that sets you apart from the rest of the crowd. And that's what's important. Moving forward. We want the change to happen, and that's difficult. But if it's happening, it's good.
I mean, for anybody listening, if they didn't want change, then they wouldn't be thinking or moving to a different country. And moving to a country comes with new sets of challenges and opportunities, and they're available for everybody, but they're only available if they're open to bring it back to the topic of today, to change your personality and be willing to modify and to adapt, so they can reach out to everything that is around them. No?
Yeah, very true.
But Dax, thank you very much. Where could everybody listening find a little bit more about you, about your courses, your program, your inspirational content? Where could everybody find you online?
Yeah, so it's a simple link I have, which is my Linktree link. Just click on that and you are connected with me completely.
Amazing. I'll be sharing it on the show notes. But thank you very much, Dax.
Thank you, Jamie, for giving me this opportunity to address and to share my thoughts. Thanks a lot for giving this opportunity once again.
My pleasure. Muchas gracias. Thanks for listening to The Good Expat. If you're enjoying the podcast, please take a second to like, comment, and leave a review. And if you think someone would enjoy it, feel free to share it and tag them. I'm on a mission to break down language barriers and connect people. And with your support, I can make an even bigger impact. Thanks for being part of this community, and see you on the next show.